Alright mates, welcome back to the channel. JL Scott Fishing. Hope everybody's doing well. Quick Livescope tip or hack that I've learned in the last week or so, being out with Livescope and figuring out all the nuances of that technology, which can be pretty daunting, is when you're jerkbait fishing in the late fall and early winter and going into the winter and the colder water months, right? What you're going to find on your Livescope is when you see those fish come up and maybe that you can't entice them to take your jerkbait, but you've seen them come up, okay, on your Livescope, right? And you've tried, depending on whether you're using a floater or suspending jerkbait, you're not down enough. Say you're 3 feet, your standard vision for those people who love and champion megabass, you're in, 3 feet, right? And if you're not using a +1 or a +2, and they're coming up, but they're not committing and they're going back down. And they're coming up and they're not committing and they're going back down. Here's an interesting tip that you can do that I found to be successful this week. Starting out with the jerkbait, okay? See the pattern of this jerkbait? Not getting them to fully commit, but to come up, okay, and then turn back down. Find the depth of water via your Livescope that those fish, usually suspended or even closer towards the bottom, depending on how deep we're talking and where you're fishing this time of year, because they're going to be relating to warmth and thermals from structure, okay? But you can entice them up, and if you're not having success with this, go with the deeper diver crankbait in the same pattern, mates, because you've already enticed them. The action of this is driving them up with interest, but you haven't gotten them to commit. This will get deeper down in there, closer to where they are initially. They will not have to go as far in order to strike your crankbait. And you will watch how you will begin to catch more bass in the late fall and early winter using this technique. Drawing them up, dialing in where they are in your Livescope, where they're relating to that structure, or could be any kind of structure, and then dropping a diver crankbait down into that area just above it, shortening the length of distance between the bass and the bait in the colder months, okay, where they're a little bit more slower and lethargic and not as aggressive, will certainly increase your catch rates in the late fall and the winter, mates. All right, mates.